Recently, we've all been hearing more and more about leveraging automation for our self-storage properties. I've been transitioning some of my own third-party managed properties over to this automated model, and I would love to share with you what made these sites a successful automated self-storage business. What I've learned and implemented has become the premise for my new guide, 3 Mile Storage Presents 3 Steps to Self-Storage Automation, and I want to send you access for only $1. Any self-storage owner can dramatically increase the value of their business by following this training. We're going to talk about live remote managers, contactless rentals, maintenance management, marketing, property management, and how to connect it all together. Plus, you'll also get some amazing bonuses for free. Bonus number 1, interviews with owners and operators using this automated model. Bonus number 2, a free analysis of the online attention your self-storage business is getting, because we all know attention equals rentals. Bonus number 3, free DaVinci lock. Bonus number 4, digital copy of the 3 Mile Storage book. And bonus number 5, a free 30-minute one-on-one implementation call. So go to 3mileautomation.com today to unlock mind-blowing value with automated self-storage. And as another bonus for those that take action today, you'll also be invited to join me and OpenTech Alliance on a one-day self-storage automation masterclass. You don't want to miss it. Again, go to 3mileautomation.com. Hi everyone, this is Jim Ross with 3 Mile Storage and the Self-Storage Show. Today we're continuing this series in talking with those that are in the unmanned automated storage operations. I got Kathryn East with me today. How's it going?
Hi, everybody.
You got a extensive history going on in storage, so I'll let you kind of give us some background, and we'll get into it.
I do. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kathryn East. I own my own consulting and transition services company, which is very fun. I get to travel a lot and work with facilities to not only transition them from old owners to new owners, but of course do exactly what we're speaking about, the unmanned situation, which I was just telling Jim has been made substantially easier by the COVID situation because people are now used to not being able to come into the facility. So I got my start 15 years ago as an on-site facility manager. I worked my way up very quickly into a portfolio position as a corporate manager for 7 stores. I left that company and traveled the Midwest as the Midwest sales rep for StoreSmart Tenant Insurance. Then became, for 4 years, the executive director of the Missouri Self-Storage Owners Association. And 3 years ago, teamed up with Scott Myers and SSI to provide the FMG, or Financial Mentoring Group classes, as well as be a coach and mentor within his organization. So I do have an extensive background in self-storage. I have a passion for it, that's for sure. I love being on the ground, being able to come up with new techniques and styles that are conducive to not only the customer service element, but of course, profits in the pockets.
Yeah, see, what am I interviewing you for? You need to be the one hosting this thing. I'm kind of track record. That's awesome.
I'm a talker, not a hoster.
There you go. Perfect. Well, yeah, we were kind of discussing earlier that you're kind of in the middle of doing a transition, and that's what you do is with the consulting is help people with the transition. So
I am.
Yeah, tell me how that's going. What's going on?
So we just took over Granite City Self-Storage in Mount Airy, North Carolina, which is the original Mayberry, in case you didn't know where that is. It definitely has a Mayberry feel with Mayberry type customers. As we know, all markets are different.
Yep.
And even though some things can be transitioned very smoothly, the customers in that market are never transitioned very smoothly. So what they're not used to, they have to get used to. And of course, we have to train them for that. But this transition has actually gone relatively smoothly, with the exception of anytime you take over a facility, of course, your bottom line is to look at your budget, to look at the numbers, to see what you can do better, keep your EGI within 40%, which is exactly what we've done here. So we've changed a few things, which is challenging. This will not be an unmanned facility at this time, but I am in the process of changing 3 facilities over to unmanned, which again is profits in the pocket. But
Yeah.
this transition is going relatively smoothly, like most of them do. It's obviously a lot of computer work, a lot of conversating with customers to make sure that they understand what the new rule sets are and new software options, things like that. But transitions never go perfect. There is no such thing as a perfect scenario, but as long as you know what you're doing and you can think reasonably and shoot from the hip on those decisions, you'll do just fine.
So what's some of the challenges when you're coming across this when you're transitioning to an unmanned
Well, the
model?
biggest challenge that you find when you're doing a transition is the change in software.
Okay.
So, for customer protection, credit card numbers don't transfer over into the new software system. So, you find yourself answering a lot of phone calls about why didn't my payment go through?
Yep.
That is the biggest challenge. Everything else is pretty much a cakewalk. I will say that probably the second biggest challenge when I come onto a property to do a transition is finding out that the previous management maybe was not doing exactly what they should have done. So we end up with a significantly higher delinquency than what was expected. So cleaning out those units and taking care of the property, which is why I'm in a sweatshirt today, because aside from answering the phone, I'm actually working on the property today, cleaning out units. But that's the second biggest challenge.
Hmm.
Other than that, relatively smooth.
Nice. See, you're a professional. You know what you're doing.
I shoot from the hip.
um, just again, can you don't mind walking me through? I mean, as again, for people that are new to the unmanned model, from like the customer perspective, especially like right now, I guess these sites that you're taking over and transitioning to that kind of model, what can the customer expect? Like more so for the brand new ones that are coming on.
Yes. So when we do an unmanned facility, the customer can expect that there is going to be a sign on the door that says, not in office, please call this number if you need assistance.
Yeah.
So they can expect to be talking to a call center representative. Now, I prefer to hire a call center that has um, representatives that are within the United States. So they speak good English and most times are bilingual. So that works out really well, especially for markets where we have a high Hispanic ratio.
Sure.
So like Texas, that's a great place to have a bilingual representative or two. So they can expect that, and they can expect to have to make appointments for maintenance versus just having someone here that can provide that maintenance in any time. But really, and of course, auto pay is a huge thing when you're doing an unmanned facility. Get as many people as you can on auto pay. And I simply explain to them, honestly, you're calling in every month anyway to make this payment on the same date. Why not just go ahead and put it on auto pay? If you have an issue, you can always call us and cancel it at any time, which works out really well. But other than that, there's not really any difference in the storage facility itself.
Yeah, and that's really another reason why I'm having these conversations. I'm trying to kind of break down the walls a little bit and just showing it's not that big of a switch.
It's not.
I thought it's in your head, like, oh my gosh, it's going to be crazy. It's not that bad. Trust me.
Actually, it's so much easier to have an unmanned facility than it is to have an actual manned facility. Even with an unmanned facility, there is no such thing as an unmanned facility. You still have to have a local person who comes through maybe once a week or every 10 days, takes care of lawn maintenance, cleans out units, checks the property, cleans it properly. And of course, security cameras are a huge, huge must when you have an unmanned facility because you have to be able to log in at any given time and see your property. So you can't expect that when you purchase a facility and you're wanting to put it in the unmanned category, you're going to have a little capex there to get the security system in place that needs to be.
I need to get someone on here to talk more about that specific element when it comes to that for the security cameras, because yeah, that's something I got to
Well,
touch on because it's so important.
It's amazing what security companies can do now with wireless cameras. I mean, my Greer location. So, I mean, I manage 16 properties across the United States right now. So we just had a security system, a wireless camera system installed at our Greer location. And the high def on that, I can get a license plate number within 2 seconds. Every time the gate opens, it notifies me via text, especially if it's after hours. It's just impressive.
I just got a lesson on installing a mesh network for doing that. So yeah, I'm learning a little bit of how
Yeah.
that all works. Because
Your static IP needs to work correctly, that's for sure.
yes,
And it is a little expensive, but when I'm evaluating properties for students with SSI and just on my own, when I'm doing that, I'm always looking for what is going to be best for the property itself. And security is one of the biggest conversations that we always have because yes, it is expensive to put cameras on the system, but or on the facility, but I'll take cameras over gates and fencing any day.
yeah.
Because it's not the gates and the fencing that's going to catch a burglar. It's the security system.
Or I'd say more of a deterrent as well, rather than
Yeah.
knowing that they're going to be seen. So I look at it more of a deterrent than saying, okay, this is who broke into my stuff. Because then most times it's just a matter of, oh, I have video of someone breaking into my unit. It's more of a
Right.
deterrent, but that's how it works.
Surprise, you're on candid camera.
Plus, again, I mean, one thing that we're kind of glossing over, but it's just simple payroll expense.
Oh my goodness, yes. So the average, I'm a big fan of paying a manager just a little bit more so I can get a more qualified candidate in the door. But yeah, that payroll expense is massive. And, for a market, and we do get into markets where it's not wise to do the unmanned situation.
Sure.
Not because of the crime rate, but more because of the type of people who are renting. If they're high maintenance people and they've always been used to having a manager in the office, then it becomes a little harder to do the unmanned situation. Not to say it can't be done. Yeah, that payroll expense, if it's not necessary, and of course, I teach students all the time, you do not have to buy within 2 hours of your house. You can buy. Larry Horton, prime example. He lives in Arizona, owns a facility in Florida.
See?
Works perfect.
Yeah.
So, and eventually we hope to transition him over to unmanned. Of course, you do have to pay attention to your occupancy statistics when you're going to an unmanned property. If you're not stabilized, that's not a good idea because you're still considered in lease up mode. And so you need that stability of a person being here to rent those units, to make that sale.
Yeah, I just say it's not one of those things where you just kind of set it and forget it. No, you got to keep your eye on every little thing. That's, again, if you're self-managed, cool, do it. If you have a third-party management company, well, that's their job, is to make sure
Right.
all that's being done, looking at the KPIs and making sure everything's working flawlessly. I've had that discussion. Some people are like, well, we're brand new. I'm going to have a manager in place until I hit a certain occupancy, and then I'll transition to unmanned. And I have other people going, screw that, day one, I'm going unmanned. So I've had both, but it's one of those things where not all sizes fits all kind of a thing.
It's not. And I teach people that all the time because like I said, there are a lot of things that can absolutely be streamlined when you're doing transitions of properties and you're deciding whether to go manned or unmanned. Yes, there's a ton of things that can be streamlined, of course. But every single market and every facility has its own issues and opportunities that you need to be addressing. And so I encourage owners to at least go work their facility for a couple days to make sure that they understand what is happening in their market.
Yep.
Which is big because that bottom line is where we're looking.
Yep, that's key.
But I love the unmanned model. I love it.
Oh yeah, no, me too. That's why I'm doing this. The more people I talk to, the more excited I get. Like, okay, I'm taking notes. I'm like, all right, I'm going that way too. So that's.
I don't blame you. And like I said, the COVID situation has just made that so much easier because customers have been trained now. While I might not be able to go into the facility, so now I have to get a money order or pay by check or call and make my payment.
Yeah.
So they're, the cash customer, even though yes, they are still there, obviously, but the percentage is getting lower and lower as we go through the pandemic. So it's been a blessing in disguise for sure. And we haven't seen numbers drop either. As a matter of fact, we've seen some of our best years ever.
That's what I was going to say. If I was a betting man, at the beginning of the year, I'd been like, let's just, close our eyes and hope for the best kind of a thing. And now I'm looking at it at the end of the year, I'm like, holy crap, we had the best year ever at multiple locations,
Yeah,
And
all 16 of my facilities have seen significant increases in occupancy.
how many of those are unmanned? Just curious.
4,
See, okay.
and
All right.
transitioning another 3 now, so that'll be 7.
You're gonna get
So half my portfolio will be unmanned.
Yeah. So again, that just kind of proves the point. The model is proving itself out enough to convince you to, okay, now we're going to transition some of these other sites over. So that's exactly where I'm doing this. I want to just kind of open up the eyes with people that are watching this, considering this, getting an education, just kind of learning more about it, that it's not so scary. It works. We belong to put the pieces in place. It's all functional.
That's right.
That's the important part. Just
I
curious.
was just going to say that is the most important part, is to be able to put those pieces in place and understand what that's going to look like, not just for your customer, but for you as well.
Yep, exactly. Both sides. Exactly.
Yep.
Just curious, like as simplistic as it may sound, I know a lot of owners are having this sticking point when it comes to this. Okay, I'm going unmanned, cool. But like you said before, the earlier part of the call is you gotta have boots on the ground. You gotta have someone there for maintenance, cleaning out units, that kind of stuff. Is that just get one person that goes there a couple hours of the week, or what do you recommend for that?
So I'm big on sending out a text message or an email customer wide with a facility to
Okay.
let them know that we are looking for someone with these types of abilities. And it's actually worked out really well.
Huh.
We don't do it in exchange for rent. You're paying your rent, I'm paying you. That's how it works, period. Because we don't like to mix those situations, those scenarios. That doesn't work out well. But I've actually had a lot of success with reaching out to my current client base, my customer base, and saying, look, if you know a handyman out the area who maybe needs some extra cash per month, here's the requirements, let me know. And just yesterday, I had a guy come in to this facility and said, I can absolutely do that.
Really? So that's always, again, kind of my own sticking point. I'm just thinking, well, who's going to want just, that kind of a hourly, how many hours a week he's going to be able to get flexible enough to put it in their schedule, but I guess it's working.
It is, because it's really not that many hours. So essentially, we give them access on their phone to the software enough to be able to pull up a rent roll to overlock customers when needed, unlock customers when needed, that we provide them with a standard maintenance list of things that they need to be looking for. They do it. We audit them at least once a quarter to make sure that they're doing their job, and we show up we don't tell them. We don't tell them we're coming. I just show up.
Good.
And I audit the facility just to make sure that they're doing their job. And as long as they're doing their job, I can see them on the security cameras when they come in and when they go, then it works out really well.
No, that's perfect. Again, one of those things that might be a sticking point, but again, it's not that big of a deal once you kind of figure that out and just do it.
Reach out to your storage customers. Why not?
I wrote myself a note on that one. That's awesome. Hire within. Cool.
Hire within.
Yeah. At least
they pay your bills. Why not?
Yeah, it's 2 degrees of separation. Maybe not them, but they know someone that's going to be close, live close. That's the whole point. So that's a key takeaway right there. So any
Nice.
kind of final parting words of advice before I let you go?
Yes. There is an influx of storage facilities coming available this first quarter. So be on your toes and evaluate these properties carefully, because it's pretty impressive what you can do. And work within the unmanned model first to see if you can get it done within that market.
Yep.
That's my biggest advice right now, because we do have an opportunity to decrease our expenses by looking at the unmanned model in almost every market. Look at it, see what you can do with it.
Yeah, exactly. Test it first. Test it out, see how it goes. You can always go that way.
That's what I did. I tested it in a few markets first to see what would happen.
Yep. That's awesome. Well, thanks so much for taking the time and letting us in. So thanks, Kathryn.
Thank you. Great to see you. You guys have a great day.
Take care.
Bye.